Now let's add two strings together. Let's call this string 1, which is equals to what? Hello, right? And then string 2, which is what? World. Now print string 1 plus string 2. Let's run it together. And as you can see, it is hello world. So what happens when you add two strings together? It will conjoin the two strings without any space. Okay, so let's say you want to add another string. So string 3, let's say, is equal to, and instead of adding something, we will just put a space in here. This space in here is also a string, so let's put plus string 3 plus string 2. So this string 3 is what? Is a space. But let's just rename them. Let's rename this to string 2. Let's just rename this to string 2. And then let's rename this to string 3. Let's rearrange them. So what happens is that it's going to print this, it's going to add it to string 2, which is this, and then it's going to add it to string 3, which is this. So once you run it, it will print hello, which is string 1, space in between is string 2, and then world, which is string 3. Now you can choose to just insert the strings manually without actually assigning it to a variable over here. So as you can see, it has printed out hello world. So you can add two strings together. You can say hello plus world. Sorry, this should be a string. Then you run it. This hello, not hello, sorry, hello instead of hello. So let's add our space here. Space it, come over here, plus another string, and you have your what? Your hello world. So what I just did here is called string concatenation. Adding two strings together is called string concatenation. Okay, so let's just change this. So this is called string concatenation. Alright, you can also multiply a string by a number, but you cannot multiply a string by another string. So if you multiply a string by another string, it's going to be an error. But if you multiply a string by a number, it's going to display that string the number of times. It's going to display this. For example, if you multiply hello by 3, it's going to display hello 3 times. So you have hello, 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 hello. So if you add a space here and then you run it to print out hello, hello, hello with a space in front of each. So you can multiply a string by a number, but you cannot divide a string. You cannot divide it. So let's say instead of doing this, let's use our impute command to impute data into our program. Let's say, what is your name? Impute what is your age? Let's clear this out, and then on top we are going to print uh, this is my app, something like this. This is going to be what is going to be displayed. You come over here and then you print out this. You can now say hello. Let's clear this. Hello. Okay. Plus hello. Let's say hello, comma, I am, and then over here you now add string 1, and then you do plus. Okay, you now add string 2, plus, let's say years old. So over here you put a space here, then you come over here, you put a space. Okay, so instead of putting a space here, let's just come to this. Yeah, let's leave it like that. So let's run it. So it's going to ask you, as you can see, this, it has printed out, this is my app. So what is your name? You will now say Abba. What is your age? Abba is 14. Hello, I am Abba, 14 years old. Hello, I am string 1 means Abba. And then over here we are going to say add another string which says I am, and then it's going to print out Abba. So string 1 is what? Is I am, whatever name you want, 14, 15. String 2, whatever name you want, it can be Abba, Yusuf, Regina, or whatever. And then this would be 15, 16, 56. And then you run it. My app is going to be, let's say, Hawa. Sorry, come over here. Hawa. Your age is 23. Hello, I am Hawa. I am. There's no space over here. So let's fix it. Let's come over here. You can add space here. And then you run it again. And then you come over here. What is your name? Let's say Abbas. Your age, let's say 16. Hello, I am Abbas. I am 16 years old. There's no space here. There's no space here. You can fix it by adding space here and adding space here. So you can run it. What's here? Hello, what is your name? You can put Brown. Your age, let's say you are 18. Hello, I am Brown. I am 18 years old. What if your name is Michaela? You can put it. So this is a simple program that asks for a user input, which is this, and then it displays hello, I am, whatever name the person person inserts here. So it can be Abbas, it can be Michaela, it can be Aurelian, it can be Yusuf or whatever your name. It can be some kind of whatever name you want to put here. So here, what age do you have? It's going to insert it and then it's going to add this to this. So what we have here is called string concatenation. Okay, so this is how you spell it, concatenation. Let me quickly put it here. I'm not mistaken. Concatenation, right? I'm not mistaken. This is how it's spelled. So this is called string concatenation, right? I think this is the spelling, concatenation. So basically adding different strings together is called string concatenation. This is a variable containing a string. This is a variable containing a string. You are adding it to other strings. So this is a string, is a variable that contains a string. This request for a string from the user, and the request is what is your name. So you can do something like this, give it a space, do something like this, give it a space to make our program more prettier. So when it asks you what is your name, it will show this, and it will also have a space before what is your name. So you can say your name is GC, and then how old are you? You are like 24 years old. Hello, I am GC. I am 24 years old. It's as simple as that. You can even add a comma over here, right after GC. You can run it again. What is your name? Miranda. Sorry, not here. You can write it with capital letters, Miranda. What is your age? Let's say Miranda is 26 years old. Hello, I am this string over here, comma, I am Miranda, comma, alright, I am 26 years old. So you kind of like want to play around with this string concatenation and understand how it feels. So this is one example of string concatenation. Another example of string concatenation, like for example, we are stressing ourselves with these commas over here. Too many commas, too many space over here. We are kind of like stressing ourselves to space out the letters. So whenever you want to like space out uh, any group of strings that you have concatenated together, you can just put a comma. Okay, instead of suffering, you can just say print. You can put hello, close the string, and then comma, and then you say world. This is also another form of string concatenation. So it will conjoin these strings. However, this comma in between will provide a space between the strings. So you have hello world with a space instead of a comma. So you can use it here. So let's go ahead and delete this. Let's comment our variables here. Let's come over here. Now instead of this addition and all of this space and whatever, you can just leave it like this without any space. Come over here without any space. Control Z, Control Z. Come over here without any space. So what happens here, instead of using addition, we are going to use this comma instead of addition, because it's also another form of string concatenation. You're going to put comma over here, going to add another comma over here, we're going to add another comma over here, then we're going to add another comma over here. So it's going to conjoin all of these strings and it's going to put the space appropriately in between every single string. Okay, so when you run it, I'm going to have, what is your name? My name is Caesar, Caesar, whatever you want to call it. How old are you? I'm like 40. You see, hello, I am Caesar. I am 40 years old. So this comma will conjoin the strings, but it will add a space in between every single string. So instead of like trying to add a space by yourself, it will just do it for you. Okay, so you can concatenate two letters. Now, however, if you want a string to be printed but appear down, you can do it like this. Uh, I'm the sorry, I am the hawk. I'm like, I don't know how old is the hawk. I don't know. Okay, I made a mistake. I think this should be it, right? I am the oh, keep forgetting. I am the hawk. I'm like 40 years old or whatever. So what's your name? I'm the hawk. I'm 40. Sorry, this should be here. So what this backslash n means that it's going to print this years old in the next line. Okay, so let's just say I am Iron Man. And I'm like, I don't know how old that guy is, like 60 or whatever. So it's going to be hello, I am Iron Man. I am 60, and then years old is going to come down here. It's going to print it in a new line. So if you want to like tap this thing to the left, you want to like tap this, you can just come over here, use the backslash, then use T. This will just tap to the next line. So hello, what's your name? I'm let's say Charlton. How old are you? I'm like 34 or whatever. So it's going to tap this here. Okay, so it's going to give a space, like a tap space. Okay, so you can like use uh two of these commands together if you wish. Hello, I am Elizabeth. Oh, I keep forgetting. I'm Elizabeth. What's my age? I'm like 100 and whatever years. Like how old is the Queen of England? I don't know. Oh, I should have said Queen Elizabeth. Is a little bit disrespectful, so I'm just going to refer to another Elizabeth who is like 27 years old or whatever. So it will tap, and then it will come to the next line, which is this, and then tap. So what if you have a scenario where, let's say your girlfriend is angry at you and she asks you to like type send her a message, send her sorry like 1,000 times, or else, whatever this girl says, lady says these days. I just use Python. Okay, I just use Python. You just come over here, hash, and then you call, then you come over here, you use our own string concatenation methods. Let's say print, right? And then you do this, then you say sorry, and then you multiply it by the number of times you want it to appear. 100. It's going to say sorry 100 times. Oof, my bad. This is still prompting us to enter a user input. So gonna keep it like that. Now let's run it. Ah, sorry. This is a string. Instead of it to print a string multiplied by 100, it's going to display this as an output. So this here's the mistake. By trying to multiply a string by a number, string by a number, you can only multiply a string by a float number. You can only multiply it by an integer number. So let's run it. And this is sorry 100,000. However, this looks like a little bit messy. Sorry, whatever. So you want it to be printing on a new line each time, or you want it to be spaced. You just do this. Sorry, spaced. However, you can print it on a new line by using this comma over here. Sorry, in a new line. You can see. So you can just go and copy this over here and then paste it in your chat or whatever. You can do like, I don't know, whatever you want to do. You want to impress your date. You can say I love you. Then you like do it, and then it prints it out like 100 times. You know what I'm saying? So you can use some programming rules over here if you want. So this is just it. So now let's apply this knowledge of string concatenation over here. Oh, and let me explain the other types of concatenation for us. There's another type of concatenation. We are going to go back to that orange software over there. We are going to go back there and we are going to clean up our code. Let's make it look a little bit better by adding some strings to our values, to our final answers over here. So our final answer will be like this is your final answer, whatever, and then you print out the final answer, just like we concatenated here. This is the user input. We concatenated it with another string. Okay, so let me show you another type of concatenation. This one uses curly braces. Print. Okay, so this is called an F string. So you add F before you put your quotation marks. You can put double quotation marks if you wish, or single quotation marks if you wish. So this is how it works. You are going to insert whatever you want to say. Let's say hello, comma, I am, and then wherever you want to insert an external data, you use curly braces there, and then you say yes. Let's say I am whatever, then you do comma, I am, another curly braces, years old. So this expects a parameter. What does a parameter mean? It means you need to insert something here. It needs a variable or a data to be inserted here. So you add a comma over here. So let's say, what's this? Let's insert name. Let's call this age. And then here, and then let's put our name over here. Name equals to Hulk, whatever. Oh, sorry, it should be a string. Hulk. Age should be let's say 45. This is called an F string. Then you run it. Hello, I am Hulk. I am 45 years old. Or you can just come over here and then you add your Yeah, that's how f strings actually work. Yeah, that's how f strings actually work. So f strings are actually a formatted string. I actually use the format keyword. Say hello, I am curly braces. I am curly braces. Come over here. Dot format, right? If I'm not mistaken, this is how it works. Dot format. Inside you pass in the parameters for these curly braces. Let's say Haaland, right? The Norwegian striker. And then let's say I am 24 or whatever age he is. So as you can see, hello, I am Haaland, I am 24. So for this kind of string, you don't need to insert any parameter here. So what you do is just put the curly braces wherever the curly braces is going to be replaced with this. Okay, so you can just say, you can just replace this with whatever. Okay, you can change the data here. Okay, so let's try something. Let's try an input over here. You can put an input comma over here and say, what is your age? Right, nah, not what is your age, what is your name rather. Come over here and say what. Nah, it has to be an input command. Input, and then say, now the input returns a string. What is your age? So you run this, it's going to prompt us to write our name, and let's say I'm Vinicius Junior. Yeah, I want to be a football star today, so let's say Vinicius Junior. For those of you that watch football, your age, I think it's also like 24 years old. So hello, I'm Vinicius Junior, I'm 24. Let's add something here. Let's say I'm 24 years old. It's as simple as that. So you can use this, or and whenever you want to like impute an external data, you come here and impute it from here. Okay, or you can just use uh you can just use variables over here, and instead of putting a variable that cannot change, let's put, sorry, it can change from your code editor, but we want like a variable that can be inserted externally by the user. Okay, so let's come over here, do this, and let's call this what is your name. Keep confusing name and age, I don't know why. Input, uh what is your age. You can use this, and then you run it. It asks you what's your name. Let's say I am Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne. What's my age? He's like 34 years old or whatever. Hello, I'm Kevin De Bruyne. I'm 34 years old. So it's as simple as that. So you can use this to create like a interactive software. Okay, so this is called an f string because you write f before the string, and this is called a formatted string because you add a dot format, and then there's curly braces here, and whatever is in the curly braces will be replaced by this. So the formatted string, let's talk more about the formatted string. You can add as many parameters you want. Yeah, you can add as many curly braces and many variables you want. If you come over here, let's use this again. You can add full stop. You can you can say I like, and then add another curly braces. So the only way you can solve this, you should come here and make sure you provide three parameters. As you can see, this format takes in two parameters. The first parameter is input, comma, input. So you need to add another comma, and then you put another string. So you can say football. I like football. So what's my name? Let's say my name is Folding. Yeah, enter. My age is like, the guy's like 23 if I'm not mistaken. My name again. Oh, pardon me. So this is actually running first. What's my name? What's my age? And then it runs this one again. What's my name? What's my age? And then yeah. I forgot to comment this out. Oof. Yeah. So let's kill the terminal. Let's run it again. So it's going to ask you what's, so instead of asking us for this user input, it's going to ask us for this user input from this formatted string. So let's run it. What's my name? Let's say my name is Lami Yamal. How old is the kid right now? Is 18. Hello, I am Yamal. I am 18 years old. I like football. So if you remove the extra parameter, the number of parameters, that's the number of data you're supposed to put inside this opening and closing parentheses, is determined by the number of opening and closing curly braces that is here. So if you remove that, it's going to be an error. You do whatever here, sorry, control Z, control Z, you remove this. So you come, let's run it again. It's going to return an error. If you come over here, you put W, you put whatever 2, there's an error. Replacement index 2 out of range for position ax tuple. So it's supposed to be 3 parameters over here. You see here? Replacement index 2 out of range for position arguments. This ax means arguments. So there's supposed to be another parameter for this. So where this is, it puts this. Where this is, it gets an user input for this. So it needs a third parameter, which is I like football. So you need to input a third parameter for it. So the number of curly braces determines the number of parameters. So you can also apply it with the other kind of string concatenation over here. For this f string, you can also add as many curly braces you want. However, the difference is, for an f strings, the difference between an f string and a formatted string is that an f string, okay, is a type of formatted string that you need to pass in what variables in curly braces. That means you need to create those variables first. So if you come over here and put comma, I like football, right? Or you can say, you can just put curly braces over here. You need to create a variable that must be inserted here because this is an f string. So let's say sport over here. So that means I need to create another variable over here, which is what? Sport. Okay. And then the variable should be a string, which is football. So what's your name? Let's say my name is Salah. What's your age? Salah is like 35, right? If I'm not mistaken. So hello, I'm Salah. I'm 35 years old. I like football. So this is the difference, okay? You have another type of string concatenation which uses the percent sign. It uses a percent sign. So this is print. Oh, sorry, I'm having difficulty typing. I don't know why. So let's hide this. I think this is like the main way you can add multiple strings together. So now let's go back to our previous application. Okay, let's go back to our previous app. Let's clear all of this over here. Let's clear all of this over here. Okay, so I'm going to clear all of this, and or you can just leave them. And let's just attend to our own application over here. Let's take this, cut it, bring it to the top, paste it. Let's add more dashes over here. Boom, boom, boom. I think we are done. Let's uncomment this, uncomment this here. You save it. Now let's create. Let's use our string concatenation superpowers over here. You come over here, and then you use your string concatenation. You say this is your answer, and then you put comma, then you save, and then it's going to concatenate this and this. Let's see this. Sorry. Sorry. It should be a number. Number of oranges 4. Number of people 2. This is your answer, which is 2. And then over here, let's say this is the reminder. Then you do this. Can concatenate a string and an integer. Remember, you can add a string to an integer. If you not add a string to an integer, sorry, concatenate using this comma. But if you use addition, it will be an error. So let's say 78. Sorry, not here. Over here, 78. Number of people to share to 45 people. So this is your answer 1. This is your remember. So let's say this is the number of orange each person will receive. Contrast. Run our program. See 40. Oh God. Sorry about that. 43. 23. So this is the number of orange each person will receive. 1. Each person will receive 1 orange each. And this is a reminder. Okay. So this is the value. And then divide by a number of people. So you divide by a group of people. So this is the reminder. There are 20 oranges remaining. So if you share these 20 oranges to the people, 3 people will be left out. So this is a simple software we just created. Very soon we are going to create a user interface for our software. Very soon we are going to learn how to use functions and if statements to make more complicated software. So for now, this is it.